Welcome to our program on Parte Radio.
Hello, everybody. Nice to have you here with us today. As promised last week, we do have a special guest today, Dr. Sérgio Thyssen. And we have a lot to cover. For this reason, Dr. Sérgio proposed we could have like two sessions. One session he will cover today, and he needs to leave around 8 o'clock Irish time. And we will have a second session next Tuesday. And after the session Tuesday, we will have a Q&A. So it's two sessions, and I hope you like it. Okay, the topic is very interesting. The triple frontier between medicine, modern physics, and spiritism. So it's a lot to cover, so many background, and I hope you like the topic we choose. But first of all, I would like to say good night to our Irish friends, to the SSI volunteers, all our cardiac radio listeners who are in America or elsewhere in the world. Thank you very much for being here with us to listen us. We already have here our dear friend Don from Chicago. Yeah, myself, Dr. Thyssen and myself were talking about the weather before going online. I will not discuss weather with Don because he's in Chicago, Dr. Sérgio. So he is in... He knows what is winter, you know. We have we have something called winter here compared to Chicago, no? So it's good. And in order to start here, because Dr. Sérgio needs to leave in 40 minutes. I will do the initial prayer. And I would invite everyone, if you can, if you are allowed to, close your eyes, raise up your thoughts, and make connection with superior spirits, with the mentors of SSI, mentors of cardiac radio, with your mentor. Ask them to fill us up with hope, resilience, faith, and courage to overcome the barriers we need to face on our daily basis. May this hope also reach out to our friends who are in the hospitals, who are suffering from anxiety, who are thinking about suicide, who are starving, those who are abandoned on the streets without a roof or a shelter. May God's mercy look after everyone. So be it. Amen. Okay. So, Dr. Sérgio, your bio is so big. I would like to ask you to introduce yourself.
Maybe.
Yeah, because you know everything. So I know Dr. Sérgio is already member of the SSI. It's like, I don't know, 5th or 6th time he's here with us. So please, Dr. Sérgio. introduce yourself.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, everyone. So my name is Sergio Thyssen. I live in Rio de Janeiro, and I am a physician, internal medicine practitioner, and cardiologist. But I like so much to study many things. And during the last 30 years, I uh, come to the university again to study physics. So I am a spiritist from my childhood because my parents both they are spiritists too. And in this afternoon, we will talk something about exactly the frontier or some kind of frontier between medicine, between spirituality or spiritism and physics. In physics, I study the frontier between cardiology and magnetic fields, the detection of magnetic fields from the heart of my patients with different cardiovascular disease, trying to introduce in cardiology one different approach in terms of the detections of problems of cardiac arrhythmias in my patients. This was it was the thesis of the Master of Sciences in Physics. But I would like to tell you about something in this frontier. Let me show you my PowerPoint.
Okay, one.
It's okay?
Yeah, I put it. I'm behind the scenes here. If you need me, just call me. Okay.
Okay. So,
Yeah, it's there.
can
It's
you
ready.
see? It's right for you?
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
So the triple frontier between medicine, modern physics, and spiritism. This is a very large field, this kind of frontier, because we are putting together three different sciences, three different big sciences. So I understand that you will use two moments to examine this field of sciences in a level of introducing. Yeah. So first of all, I would like to present this idea. So we have spiritism, a science, a big science from Allan Kardec books. Physics, we have the classic physics from Newton, Isaac Newton, and many other colleagues from that time. And we have medicine. We would like to remember that this is a very important science in those days, but this is a 5 millennium science that are together with the history of humankind. But we have some frontiers, we have some kind of interfaces. So we have between everyone, in the center, we have the idea that we have one specific field of research including those three different sciences. Remembering with you, in terms of medicine, we have 5,000 years of history of medicine. We have in humanity, in this humanity on earth, physical and mental diseases, obviously. We have old and new illnesses because diabetes or hypertension or schizophrenia, these are very old, different diagnoses. We have thousands and thousands of different diagnoses in clinical medical problems, and the same in mental illnesses as depression, schizophrenia, autism, and many others. So autism is a very new childhood presentation of mental abnormalities. But in the past, we don't know about autism. So we have modern and old different diagnoses in medicine. Medicine of the body, even in the mental diseases. For example, depression and many others, we can find some modifications, some abnormalities in the neurotransmitters in the brain of the people with depression. In the same way, when we study and when we examine the brain of the child with autism, we can detect 6 or 7 different disabilities, abnormalities in the brain and in the subtle structures of the brain. But independently of when we have mental problems, including we have in the physical body some different abnormalities. But we understand by one spiritist point of view that independently of what you have in the physical body, the origin comes from the soul and the perispirit. This is a science. This is one field of one kind of seminar when we can examine the structure and relationship between the problems and the soul, the perispirit, and the physical body. This is a science. This is a very nice science to study everyone in the future, for example. We have allopathic medicine, Occidental, West science, West medicine, homeopathic, and many alternative ones. We have Chinese medicine, where we have Tibetan medicine. We have different around the world, but commonly we have the allopathic medicine, and in a less quantity of presentation around the world, the homeopathic. Every one of them, they are my patients in the past. So when I am talking about medical problems, I am talking about very hard medical situations with so much suffering from that patients. Many of them, they are very nice in those days because the medical science and because this kind of frontier, when we put in evidence the importance to know about the reasons, the causes the spiritual causes to help our patients around the world. It's not only here in Brazil. So we want to consider with you, my friends, that in terms of medicine on earth, the earth is a world of millions and millions of patients. For example, by the World Medical Organization, we have 500 million of people with depression in those days. All of them around all the countries of the world. And if I count the patients with hypertension, with diabetes, with coronary heart disease, we have millions and millions of patients. But this is a hospital. We would like to introduce or to consider with you the idea of the earth as a hospital, a big hospital, because our life, this is not a model of a humanity, a model of a world. This is only a little world in the big universe. But here we are sick spirits, we are sick souls. We are put all together to look for some kind of recovery, some kind of different levels of cure. In terms of spirituality, in terms of spiritual problems, from our transgressions of the divine law in the preceded, in old lives from our past. So we have thousands of different illnesses, infections, neoplastic of cancers, degenerative, genetic, inflammatory, metabolical, immunological, mental diseases. The earth, a world of suffering. We can study about this outside the Spiritism, in some kind of spiritual view and spiritual approach in medicine. Because in those days, we have a very nice development of the understanding from different researchers from many and many different countries around the world with this idea, the idea of linking spirituality and medicine. For example, Dr. Koenig, Spirituality in Patient Care, the same and his colleagues' Handbook of Religion and Health. And we can see faith, spirituality, and medicine. I would like to introduce to you another aspect. For example, in the best universities and faculties of medicine in Brazil, in the United States, in Europe, in South Africa, in India, we have different matters offered to the pupils of the students of medicine, linking religiosity, spirituality, and medicine. This is one very nice study that we can do in the future. We can program this specifically. As you can see, physics of the soul. When I compare with the Spiritist contents, this is very simple, because when we study Spiritism, we have with Allan Kardec books, with André Luiz, Emmanuel, and others, authors from the mediumship of Francisco Cândido Xavier, we have very interesting contents with very important contents in a different step from those books, but they are very fine. And I suggest to you to take some note and to find and to read as you can. For example, the basic code of the universe, the science of the invisible in physics, medicine, and spirituality. We are dealing with this frontier, but not only in spiritist groups or as spiritists interested to understand and to study many things. Before modern physics, on the 17th century, Isaac Newton and others well-known scientists developed a wonderful and well-succeeded explanation of how things move on Earth and in the sky, the classical mechanics. This is a very important physics nowadays. We have the modern physics, but the classical physics it's important, independently of quantum mechanics, independently of theory of relativity. His most spectacular application is the sky exploration and understanding of the celestial mechanics. Now we can detect in the, as we know, the observable universe, we have billions and billions of galaxies. We have now to study, and I love to study astronomy, astrophysics, and cosmology. We have elements to study during all my life, all our lives. And during the future, we can study, for example, dark energy, dark matter, and we will have many lives to do that in the future. Different Nobel Prizes will come from the minds of those people that will spend their time to know about the planets in this solar system and in our galaxy, in Andromeda, and in many others. Now we can understand that each one of that points, light points, may be stars, may be galaxies, and we are with the Hubble telescope, we are outside the atmosphere from Earth. We can detect many different worlds, many different galaxies, and conglomerate of galaxies. This is the ISS, the International Space Station, with our colleagues traveling around the world. This is on Mars. Before the modern physics, we have classical mechanics, optics, electromagnetism, and thermodynamics. We have other sciences too inside this, but these four are the more important to study and to know about. In terms of modern physics, when everyone talk about modern physics, we understand two big aspects. Quantum mechanics, from the works and research of Max Planck, and the theory of general and special relativity from Albert Einstein. We understand that the foundation and discoveries of quantum mechanics occurred since 19 to 1926. And those are the Nobel Prizes, physicists, cosmologists that are working to the humanity, to the development of the new physics. As Planck, Einstein, Niels Bohr for Copenhagen, Denmark, Louis de Broglie, Erwin Schrödinger, Max Born, and Werner Heisenberg from the principle of incertitude, the constructors of the modern physics. These are my Nobel Prize colleagues from 1927 in a very interesting city near Brussels, Belgium. This is the big team from the modern physics. And in this, we have one woman, Marie Curie, with all of them, the men related to Nobel Prizes and the very important and beautiful contributions in terms of modern physics. In one day, we can talk just a little bit about each one of those men, and especially Marie Curie, the only human being that received 2 Nobel Prizes. This is the case of Marie Curie. During the whole century of its development, not only our understanding of the nature and universe was deeply changed, but also allowed the creation of fantastic technologies, which triggered the most recent humanity evolution. We have here different historical aspects in terms of modern physics. But I would like to only consider with you the 14 December 1900, Max Planck opens a revolution in physics, demonstrating the quantization of energy in studying the black body radiation. The failure of classical physics to know about the black body radiation. Newton's and Maxwell's electromagnetism. We know the ultraviolet catastrophe, hydrogen atom catastrophe. This was the problem during that century transition. And Max Planck, thinking about the quantization of energy, discovered the solution of that historical problems. Quantum physics is a generalization of classical physics. So, quantum physics is the physics, and the classical physics is one case, one specific case to the big things in the universe, and then the classical mechanical, the celestial mechanic was related to the classical physics. But the modern physics the quantization of energy, we are dealing with the physics of the small dimensions of the universe. Here, the introducer of the new physics, Max Planck, in a photograph in that year. Here, the idea of the catastrophe of ultraviolet, the classical theory and the experimental results in different ways. This was considered the invitation from science in those days to the discovery of the quantization of the energy. So, how did modern physics was born in the early 20th century? Maxwell equations describing electromagnetism and light as a wave. This was a progression. The discovery of the photon, the energy packs, the quantum mechanics, and the new idea that light is particle and also interacts with matter, particle nature of light. And Albert Einstein received, because of the photoelectric effect, the Nobel Prize of Physics. So the light, as we understand in the big universe on Earth too, the light or radiation of light has the dual nature, dual personality, waves and particles. This is the experience of the ondulatory understanding of light, the idea of waves and particle. So light and many other things as particle wave duality or double personality. Albert Einstein, Louis de Broglie, Nobel Prize from France, Thomson from United Kingdom, my colleague, because in the materialization meeting during 1 decade in Rio de Janeiro, the materialization of people, discarnate people, one of them was my colleague in physics, Niels Bohr, discarnate and working between the two big presentation of human life on Earth, the material, physical world, as we are now, and the spiritual world, the spiritual realm, where he was in those times, in those materializations meeting with a medium, a fantastic medium with ectoplasmatic possibilities. So I could talk with my colleague in physics in those days. This is the father of the physics in Denmark and the School of Physics in Copenhagen. We are changing our minds. During the work of Allan Kardec was in the same period of science from Dalton. Dalton describes the science and the idea that the atom, it was indivisible. But from those times, one and a half century ago, we are growing, we are evoluting in terms of our understanding. And now, when I ask my son, he has, the little one, he has 8-year-old, Vincent, what about the composition of the matter? What do we have? In the times of Allan Kardec, the atom is the little one. In the beginning of the 20th century, we have protons, neutrons, and electrons. But now, Vincent answered to me, Father, quarks and leptons. And we are introducing many different aspects of life. This is Werner Heisenberg, because of the principle of uncertainty. This is a beautiful aspect, a Nobel Prize. We could talk something about this in the next meeting, in the next week. I apologize because we are dealing with the Bohr model of the atom as the quantum object. But in the level, we can see the equation of Schrödinger from 1925. This is a very simple equation, yeah? But this is the main equation from the modern physics. If we have time in the future, we can introduce some details about this. Schrödinger, Edwin Schrödinger in 1920. In those times, we can see different visions or views from a proton. And now we can see quarks and gluons inside the proton, in a new idea from the universe, not only in my point of view, not only in terms of matter, in the physical reality on Earth and in the big universe, but the same in the spirituality, because the spiritual world, he is material too. Stephen?
Yeah, my friend, it's 5 minutes to 5 o'clock. So
Okay.
if you want to keep it going, but I know you have a hard stop because you do need to do the prayer. So you said, I just let you know. You feel free to do whatever you want to do.
Thank you. I am looking the time, but I think I will come back in this aspect in the next slides. But this is a very interesting image because in different moments from the development of science, when we analyze the idea of one proton that are in all of the material aspects of the universe, and I suppose and I understand in the spiritual reality too, now we can divide, we can look inside the proton in that big image in the bottom of this. For example, when I visit Geneva, the center of particle inside the atom, we can detect antimatter. So if we have the electron, we have to the positron. It is the same particle, but with the charge in inverse. And this is an element of the divine universe. We have matter and antimatter, and we are dealing with some frontier in the spiritual reality when we study the antimatter. This is in Geneva. I visit this beautiful, this very nice lab. This is a big one in the frontier between French and Swiss, because the Higgs boson, it was detected in those laboratory. I think I can finish this little talk today introducing this idea. In the future, all of us, independently of other readings, other books in the childhood, we will familiarize with the mother of sciences, the physics. And in general aspect, to all of the people in the future to understand the reality, we will have the motivation, one espécie of invitation to study physics. Well, I would like to tell you that I am very happy to find everyone in this afternoon. Unfortunately, I need to interrupt now because I have a prayer for humanity to do in Portuguese, as we are trying to do to help the people that are suffering around the world. And I would like to tell you that the prayer, this is a very nice example in terms of this study between modern physics, physics in general, spirituality and spiritism specifically, and the idea of spiritism. So the prayer is a very nice, maybe the best in terms of the frontier between these three different areas of science or knowledge. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, everyone. And see you in the next week. Okay?
Thank you, Dr. Sergio. If you don't mind, you could type the names of the books, because there is a question here. Can you repeat the name of the books, please?
Yeah.
The three books at the beginning. So I know you're rush on time. You can give to me and I put it here a bit later.
Yeah, Paula. Thank you. Wait for me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Have a nice night. God bless you. And thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Thank you very much. See you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Hey guys, sorry for this hard stop, but Dr. Sergio, he has, as he said, he has a word peace prayer every day. He does this at 5 o'clock in Brazil, and this answering and the Darnell's question here. What city is Dr. Sergio in? He's from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, Darnell. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know. And Paula, I think you saw my request online. As soon as Dr. Sergio gives me the name of the books, I will put them here, okay? And I will do it. So I hope you guys are okay. We had good news here nearby. We got started vaccination today here in the UK. So it's a hope, yeah? It's a hope. Okay, so let me know, guys, if you like these moments when we bring someone to give a talk or give a speech, or if you don't like this and you like us to have our normal discussion like Wanderlei, Nate, myself, and any other guest, tell me, because this is for you, and we want to do something it's good for you, and what makes sense for you. So let us know. Your opinion is very important and will help us to prepare our program for next year. So it's crazy. Huh? We are we are almost finishing the year. So and we're talking about preparing next year. So it's insane, but it's good. But let us know what you need to. And I'd like to finish here just reading a passage from the book Our Daily Bread. Okay? I will open it randomly, or let's say, uh, type a number from between 1 and 374, from between 1 374. And the first number I see here in the comments is the number the page I'm going to open here. Okay, I need a number between 1 and 374. Okay, okay, Don said here, absolutely. I love the science part, being a one-time engineer. I even remember a few of the words. Yes, my friend. So that's why it's good to hear. Okay. Thank you guys for the number. The first number came up here. You can see it on the chat. Is by Casa is 500. No, 543. Don't count because it's 374. So I go to the next one. The next one is Paula. Paula, you ask page 167. So let me open 167 here. Okay. So it is page 167. And it's chapter 77, and the title is To Respond. Let our conversation always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. The act of responding beneficially to heterogeneous minds requires superior qualities that the individual should make an effort to acquire. Points of view cannot be directed indiscriminately at fellow humans as they struggle with one another in evolutionary and redemptive tasks. It is necessary to address each one judiciously. One should not respond to someone working in the countryside by mentioning circumstances in the city. One should not use highly scientific remarks with someone complaining about the harshness of his or her individual path. First of all, one must not be disagreeable to the listener. One should moderate the verbal attitude with a true grasp of life's problem. It is our duty to make our contribution so that those who have strayed away from simplicity and usefulness may realign themselves. Every response in an important matter is like medicine. One must apply the dose with its effects in mind. Each individual will tolerate and benefit from the proper dosage. Even the solutions of truth and love must not be administered without discretion. Applied in inappropriate doses, even the truth could destroy, just as love can cause damage. Even if questioned by a greatest evildoer in the world, you should maintain a pleasant and dignified manner to inform or to enlighten. Knowing how to respond is a virtue from the sphere of celestial wisdom. For your own sake, do not forget the best way of caring for each individual. Okay. So in this, I think the main lesson for today in this passage here, in this chapter here, is know how to respond, how to say something to someone. And before saying anything here, sometimes saying nothing is the best thing. We need to learn to open our mouth when we have something to contribute, not to put someone down. And here, that is important saying here, even the truth could destroy. So it's not saying here do not say the truth. We're saying here, yes, say always the truth, yes, but support that person, support there. So we do have that kind of people say, oh, I always said the truth. I always say I'm not a truly, but I'm a sharp person, and I say everything I want to. Yes, it's your behavior. But sometimes the listener is not ready to listen all his bad points. And I think we are in not a position to point someone else's fingers because we don't know what is our problems, what is our imperfections. So I think we need to be more carefully when we open our mouth. Sometimes saying nothing is the best thing we have to do. Okay? I think that's the lesson. Let me see what Daniel wrote here. I like it. I like it when the speakers use science or philosophy to explain Kardec's book. Yeah, and Darnell, yes, so do I. I really like it, and this is very important because we are not here to say that's the truth. This is written by Kardec. It's a gospel. No, we are here to study and to put our questions, find the answers, and if we need to change, we will change. Kardec wrote this, but we need to know how to act first, and using these people from science with science background just will reinforce the message to us, and it's up to you to accept it or not, and it's up to you to find out more things, and go in deeper and have a deeper study. Okay. Okay, I think this is it, my friends. Let me see. Do we have any other questions? Because it's almost an hour time. Okay, no. Meanwhile, there's not much announcements. We will be probably myself and Nate or Vanderlei on Thursday with our normal discussion about any topic in the Spiritist book, or Gospel according to Spiritism, or Heaven and Hell, or Genesis. So we will be here. And also, I'd like to say to you, this is going to be a non-stop show. So even though during the holidays, we will broadcasting. So we will have our normal talks, normal discussions every Tuesday and every Wednesday, between Christmas time and New Year time. So non-stop show for us, okay? So we'll be here. We need to stick together. I'm so glad you guys are with us, are sharing this moment with us, and we are here for you, as we said. No, this show, it's helped me, but it's for you. Okay, so let's do our final prayer. And I'd like to invite everyone once again to close your eyes, open up your heart, thanking God for the opportunity. Say thank you to Dr. Sergio Thiessen for his enlightening words, giving us more background on the scientist, on the scientist side. Thank everyone who joined us today. May this prayer reach you, your family. May this prayer reach our brothers and sisters, which somehow are needed for any kind of help, or they are suffering. May this prayer reach them. May we have a wonderful day. So be it. Amen. Okay, my dear friends, thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much to be with us here today. And I'll see you on Thursday at 7:15 p.m. Irish time. Thank you very much, our Kardec Radio listeners. Thank you, America. Thank our friends from Europe. Thank our friends from Asia, because I know there are some listeners in Philippines, even though it's mid of night for them, but we do have some people listening us. So thank you very much. And stay tuned. I'll see you next Thursday, and next Tuesday we will have Dr. Thiessen again with the second part, and we will leave at least 20 minutes at the end for questions and answers. So sharpen your pencils and write down your questions, and he will answer. Okay. Thank you, Paula. Thank you very much. Thank you, Darnell. And thank you, Dawn. Thank you very much. I'll see you next Thursday. Thank you. Bye-bye.